Hello there. Where's my camera? Webcam. Interesting. Okay. Oh yeah, I didn't connect. I'm so bad of connecting all the hardware together. Okay. Let me see. Should work now. I don't want to monitor. Now it's good. Let me change my Nightward information about this keyboard. Yeah, so tonight we're going to build a D84 keyboard from KBDfans. And the switches we are using will be the Water King and stock without any loop, just because how smooth the stock they are. And the stabilizers, we are going to use the Everal stabilizers. I got everything from EL boards, which I'm affiliated with, and actually I didn't get them. I just recommend my client to get them. Yeah, that's because I think they are trusted vendor, and they have pretty good rate on both the switches and the stabilizers. And the keycaps we're using will be the NK blue, purple on white. Oh, chat. Yeah, I definitely hide the chat box. So if we try to do again, yeah, looks cool. So why don't we start opening the box? Yeah, so we don't need a wrist rest. Yeah, we can leave the keyboard for now until later when we start soldering or assembly. Actually today is pretty hot. So keycaps. So we want to show keyboards. And last time we already showed a little bit, but in general we have the gaskets. We have the plate with the platform go between it and the PCB, which we will go into test. And the case form go under the PCB. And this is the PCB. Finally, the case. And also a little bit case screws. And the bump pump fit. Yeah, so this is basically the $200 gasket mount 75% keyboard from KBDfans. And I don't have my GMMK Pro, not mine, but client GMMK Pro to compare, but we definitely will compare this one with the Rama board here to see how the gasket mount feeling differs. Okay, so we got the case here, and I received some notification which let me check if that's anything very urgent. Yeah, there are a bunch of things stuck and group by right now. I think it's mainly because it's past the May time. Okay, frame job, but yeah, once I'm back, it's fine. Cool, so this is the case. So the client goes with the silver case. And I think KBDfans should add a little bit more taste onto the bottom, but yeah, it's really a nice clean look throughout the case. And also the round USB port, and you can see the gap go between the top case and bottom case, so that once you add all the gasket, it will compress the plate to provide really isolated typing feeling and sound. Cool, nice. Let's add the bump on first, so we don't really scratch the bottom of the case. Even I have a good desk mat, but still you don't want to have anything on the desk to scratch the bottom case. For example, maybe you have some screw head, or maybe just in general screws. Maybe the bump on will help you to avoid doing that. So bump on always the first, and unless the bump on actually hides the screw hole. Sometimes you have that. For example, the elephant and the piggy, and also Space 65, they all have the bump on hiding or cover. Depends on how do you describe that. And this is the packaging from EL which we are going to use the switches stock Water King 60 gram and Everglide V2 stabilizers, which I tested. They are basically identical with the Duroc stabilizers. Cool, so that's the box, other than the keycaps, which we are going to use afterwards. Okay, so everything is not as important as test the PCB first, because if we have a faulty PCB, we probably will end the stream much earlier. Okay, so we have this PCB. And let's bring the VS software. As usual, we just use it as a test key tester. Yeah, every time I stream, opening VR takes time. Okay, so it at least recognizes. So let's do keys tester with test matrix up. I don't know why it's so slow on my computer. Shouldn't. What happened? Yeah, anyway, no matter what, this is the first step, because you may have some SMD component falling off during transportation. And testing is the only way to know that. And I think for this keyboard, we are going to everything default, unless clients want something different. Well, first question, is my client still watching or started watching? I think that's important to know, because if I have questions, I can always ask during the stream. I mean, less likely I have a lot of questions, but it's good to have that option out there. Yeah, I remember last time Teha had a problem on contacting the client during stream, and so he had to end the stream early because of the incompatible part of PCB, or maybe, wait, did I forget? Okay, yeah, I just forget doing one switch. Nothing really scary. Okay, so the tricky part here is to test all the switches in the bottom row, because bottom row is so confusing, so many options that you can do. So I'm just doing the default, but if clients want to do different than default, we will figure out later. Okay, cool. So what we have done so far is testing the PCB and this 84. Hopefully you will satisfy our needs to provide a good typing feeling keyboard, but I don't see anybody really have this unit out and try to advocate for that, so we'll see. So the first thing we're going to do is looping the stabilizers. Stabilizers. So I guess we can skip up here because we don't have the full right shift. And we'll wait until client come back and say if he want to do 7U or 6.25U, but usually people do 6.25U. Like that's the most typical one. But we ain't need that yet. Let me connect my Rama boards again. Do you have to loop those stabilizers? Technically, you don't need to. I mean, you don't have to, but they could go really scratch or rattle. So the typing sound could differ from like really bad to really good, depending on how you loop them. And if you loop them well, you will have a really balanced and not rattly sound. So looping stabilizers is a good, like very important step in a keyboard build. Actually, this is probably the most important step. Like bad stabilizers on a preview keyboard definitely kills the sound signature of the keyboard. So I don't know if I want to compare, but yeah, let's do a comparison. Why not, right? So let's do loop all the stabilizers here and try to install our stock stabilizers. Then we can compare the two keys we have, and we will see how they differs. And then you will see how important my work really is for this keyboard build. It's not just like assemble them together. It's about put your love into the keyboard, so your client can get a good keyboard. And the stabilizers I loop with Krytox 205G0 on the housing and stem, and I will use dielectric grease on the wire just because it's much thicker. It's good for the wire contacting the housing and the stem. So they are just two different. But anyway, the big question is what kind of bottom row you want. So the bottom row option, you can go 3 1.25U switches like in general or the standard keyboard. So you have the control windows and out key, and then you have a spacebar. Then you have usually two options here. The longer spacebar, which is the 7U spacebar, and and the shorter spacebar, the 6.25U spacebar. And I think it just makes things a little bit strange in this keyboard if you use 7U, so I would still recommend 6.25U. But that next question is probably a question for all the 75 keyboard builds, from KBDfans. Like for the remaining 2 or 3 keycaps on the right side of the spacebar and between the spacebar and arrow key, we have 3 units. So we can go 3 1U keycaps, or we can go 2 of 1.5U keycaps. So in general, do you like 3 small keycaps on the right side of spacebar, or do you want 2 larger keycaps on that part? I don't know if I have described that very well, or it just like makes things more confused. Yeah, maybe I should present a photo somewhere. Yeah, let me check out to see if I can present a photo. Yeah, I see the best way is really looking at first I need to see if people actually, let me look at plate, if plate can have multiple options here or not. Yeah, we can definitely have multiple options. And then the next thing is I need to look at if there's any photo around that has the second option. Oh, okay. So let me check this photo. Link. Where's the link? Okay, this is link. So this 2 of 1.5U, right? 2 spacebar. So the thing is, like, default is not always the best. That's why I'm trying to provide a good option here. And this is 3 of 1U. Okay, let me know if the one can click. Yes. So just focus on right to the spacebar and left to the arrow keys. Yeah. I mean, it's still very early on the build stream and also very early on this decision, so not really rushed to make decision on this two. But yeah, if you search for KBDfans 75 V2 and search for photos, I think most photos comes with the second one I sent, which is kind of the default option, but depends on how many keys do you need on that area. Like if you don't really need 3 keys there, I find 2 keys were better looking, but yeah, still depends. And also sometimes depends on the keycap set whether they support or not. So I would definitely check out your keycap set, but I bet your keycap set support both, since you have a pretty good compatibility. Yeah, the 2 key definitely goes special. people will know you are not getting from KBDfans directly. Like, let them solder directly. Yeah, if you don't really need to use all the keys, that's the best way of doing. So let's get some switches to test the stabilizers. So the next step is using dielectric grease on the wire. And then we can install them onto the PCB itself. So for Spacebar, we definitely install because we don't need to compare that, since we don't have a good comparison. Like, you don't have a two spacebar on a keyboard for me to compare looped and unlooped stabilizers. But we can definitely compare the enter key and the backspace, because these two are very close. So you can definitely hear the difference once I do that. Yes, there are so many keys on this keyboard that you can do all kinds of mapping, use the VIR software. So you can make it a super power keyboard to do a lot of things automatically for you. Like, you can make macro, you can make key combination, you can make layer key. So it can change the, well, not lighting, because this is not per key RGB. Okay, so we have this 3, then we have the 7U. Yep. Yeah, how are you doing tonight? Like, at least you are Western Coast, so you don't need to like stay late for the stream. Yeah, and I usually like finish my dinner and take some casual rest, then start working on keyboard. Otherwise, I may not have a good time between my regular dinner and this keyboard building stream. And if it's too late, not many people will be able to see, and also I won't be able to sleep in time. So this pretty much satisfies my need of streaming, but sometimes it's pretty hard for clients to watch if they are in West Coast. But anyway, people like the fact that I have a stream that they can watch later on as well. Yeah, so this step is to add some loop onto the wire of the stabilizers. So when the wire touches the stem of the stabilizers, it has some buffer that it will not generate a lot of plastic noise, which I will put them onto this enter key area. And we will not put this one for the backspace, just for the testing purpose. Yeah, we have some stock ones left. Yeah, but the truth is, even for Everglide stabilizer stock, they are not that bad. So I'm not sure how much difference I can demonstrate. But yeah, if you're using stock GMK screwing stabilizers, it will be day and night difference. Let's move on to the next, left shift. Yeah, and after I build the keyboard, the next few days I'm testing the keyboard on my own use. I mainly test the stabilizers because they are the place where most problem can come. So it really depends. Sometimes you may not get a good looped stabilizers. Sometimes you may have the Y imbalance. Maybe you get a popping out Y. So the best way is to get a good stabilizers from beginning, so they don't really pop out. And usually the Everglide V2, Durock V2, or C3 stabilizers are good options here to prevent that from happening. Cool, so we still have one more pair, but let's go test the difference first, since you feel like having a little bit question around what happened to not looped stabilizers. So we're just going to assemble that, not do anything here. So stabilizers, the wire, and say the stabilizers and the wire. So that could be in all kinds of instruction on how to assemble a keyboard without doing something like this. Okay, let's also use the screw to have a fair comparison. You don't want to unscrew it to do that. Cool, so let's do some tests. So let's first put on a switch onto the backspace and one switch on the enter key. And enter key is already looped and backspace not looped. And then let's get some switches out. Oh no, the keycaps. Yeah, I haven't done such comparison for a long time, so this is also interesting. So backspace, the enter key. Okay, it's just so hard to get the keycaps out from this tray. Yeah, I will show you the tray. So this is the keycaps tray, and it's really hard to get out the keys. And we have the spacebar and the left shift. So this step is to test whether the stabilizers are well looped, so that we know if we want to add more loop or we want to remove some loop. So the enter key, this is well looped. Maybe I will add a little bit more loop from the back, but this is the backspace. And let's hear the sound difference. So this is the enter. And this is the backspace, no loop. Enter, looped. Backspace, not looped. Yep, you will hear the difference very much. So now you understand why you need to loop the stabilizers. Even though they are pretty good stabilizers by default, you still want to loop them to make sure you have a good stabilizers key, because that's probably very important on the whole keyboard. So we have the enter key looped, left shift looped, and the spacebar looped, and backspace not looped. Okay, we're going to remove the backspace stabilizers which are not looped, then try to add the looped ones on top of it. Yeah, but hopefully you will see what I meant. Like looped or not looped, they are night and day difference for sure. Yeah, they're just so different that once you know how looped stabilizers sound, you cannot go back. And most of the pre-built keyboard, they are either not looped or not properly looped. So that's why like you will hear a lot of rattle when you type on that. I mean, it didn't happen to your laptop keyboard because they are not the same mechanism, but yeah, if we were talking about mechanical keyboard, a lot of pre-built keyboard just didn't do a good job. I think there are several clients send me the keyboard just to desolder and replace the stabilizers and solder them again, just because how annoying stabilizers is, or maybe how bad they are, which totally failed the point of a good keyboard. So tomorrow, not tomorrow, this Wednesday, I'm rebuilding a keycode number 2 stainless steel version, which is basically that request. Try to replace the stabilizers. So this is the backspace looped. Okay, all sounds good. I don't think I even need to add some loop from the back, but we will see after typing for a day or two. Yeah, we will see from that time. Especially for Water King switches, they are pretty good stock loops. Sometimes I find they are a little bit overlooped. That I probably don't want to overloop my stabilizers to cause the stabilizer's key sluggish to return. But there's also other possibility that could happen, like a really tight FR4 plate. For example, my Bagnico 60% keyboard from Canon key, it just like have a really bad problem on sluggish keys to return. And I already contact CK Canon key, and I think they had some COVID stuff that they cannot really handle a lot of customer service right now, or even shipping out the orders. So hopefully they are doing better, that they will come back to me later time. Okay, so the only problem right now is we have a 3-key layout here for the platform. So I will need to cut it, and I think cutting that for the two 1.5 U key is worth doing. So let me try to find some color or scissors. Yeah, you can see a lot of areas not covered by the platform either way. So let's try to cut what happened onto the right side of the spacebar. Yeah, so I already tested on other KBD75 before, so this is definitely a valid modding. Don't worry. Yeah, and also poron foam platform is pretty good material. Let me throw the trash out. Cool, so we got this platform, and the purpose of platform here is to dampen the sound that caused by switch hitting the plate and some vibration or even echoiness between the plate and PCB. Cool, so we got this one ready. Now we can insert more switches. We'll go from the corner just to make sure. Actually, probably easier to add some switches onto the plate first. Yeah, so the plates between this keyboard and the KBD75 V2 are not interchangeable because this one has the outer area to put the gasket on. And I think for this keyboard we can put the gasket onto the plate because I don't think we have any reason to change to another plate or another PCB. I think this is pretty good keyboard building in general. Like if you have more high-end custom keyboards, then maybe sometimes you can find more plate material that you can try different out, especially if they have hot swap PCB. If you want to make your PCB hot swap, buy Max socket. In that case, you can try to put your gasket onto the case, so that when you swap to different builds, you don't need to find new gasket. But for this keyboard, one is because KBDfans has all kinds of gasket for sale. Yeah, for example, this one, it actually says the D85 gasket. So that's actually interchangeable. It's like $5 per, or maybe $10 at most each. Yeah, nowadays I actually like the aluminum plate because they are pretty precision cast, like cut it. So every time when you have a good switches, they pretty much fit very well. And if people are cut aftermarket, they may not have a good fitting. Okay, the tricky part is really like how all the bottom row really fit together. So which switches should I put in? That's the biggest question. And the best way is really get some keycaps to test out, so I don't end up having a wrong switches inserted. So first thing is the spacebar. Let's just put the spacebar switches on, so I can easily get where it goes. We also need other keys. The 1.5U, and this is a good time to check out if we have all the keys here. I mean, there's no reason it doesn't have, but just better to double check, right? So we will use the shift key. In the future, we'll use the larger control key, larger alt key. Okay, so we will have the right column, which we are going to actually, let's wait until the switch keycaps testing time. Yeah, we should have plenty switches here, keycaps here. Yeah, I don't know, somehow I always mismatch the switch and keycaps. Okay, yeah, I feel like my stream is a little bit bad now. Let me see if I should disable or exit my other application. Yeah. Let me see which application use my memory a lot. Okay, so we got this one. Then the next two is the larger keys here. There should be only two possible positions to put the keys, not the right, this one. And then we can basically put the keycaps like this one. Okay, cool. So we got the keycaps fitting very well here. Yeah, always make sure you know where the keycaps to put before you finally solder that. Otherwise, it's really hard to desolder and solder again. Okay, yeah. I end up removing and put this key, space key a lot. Oh, one more thing. Do you like the step caps lock or regular caps lock? I don't know if you understand that, but if you want to Google that, you can Google split caps lock versus regular caps lock, and let me know your preference. Or if you don't really want to search, I actually have two keyboards that has one regular and one split. So if you want to check that out, you can also let me know. But yeah, that's a question. Not a drill, a question for you. Everything is kind of slow down. Regular is fine. Cool. That's a nice decision here. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out why my stream is slow. Is that because I just turned on too many Chrome tabs? Is that the reason? My whole computer is really slow, and oh, I didn't connect my computer with a power cable, so it's running on its battery for the whole time, and it's almost that. Okay, mystery half solved. Yeah, hopefully it's getting back better. But yeah, I forgot to connect to my power cable. Good thing I find it now, otherwise stream will just get that while I'm still doing the work. Yeah, it's still slow, but let me see. Okay, at least it's charging now. And do I notice difference? I think a little bit. Hopefully my computer is recovering so that stream can get better. But yeah, right now it's really just about inserting the switches. And if you okay, maybe it's the Discord that I need to turn off no matter what. Yeah, let me turn off a little bit more Windows. Chrome tabs. Have too many. Sometimes I just don't want to close all Chrome tabs and they are occupying all the memories. I wish they didn't really occupy the CPU cycle. But yeah, the stream is definitely very lagging now. Okay, so after this step, I will going to solder the keyboard. To be honest, it's very warm right now, so let me just open the window. Anyway, I need to open later. Yeah, haven't been like this warm for a while. Definitely not a thing that I expected at night. Stream is still not going well. I wonder what should I do? Should I just restart the stream? Or should I just pray to see whether the computer will get better? Yeah, I always hate the pipe key area because of the plate doesn't really have a good support, so that you never know if it has a crooked or right one. Okay, anyway, I need to set up a solder station now. Okay, I probably have to restart the stream. Yeah, I will be right back. If you are watching, probably you have to refresh. Okay, no problem. Yeah, I just need to Yeah, no problem. I'm just trying to make sure my stream still works functionally. Yeah, I actually don't know. Right now stats were not pretty good looking. Yeah, let me probably restart. Let me see if I can try to fix anything if I don't restart. So still dropping the frame. Yeah, let me check out if I have any big application working other than Streamlab. Google Chrome always occupy a lot of memory, so I never know if they are the cause. But let me just try to go online again. Oh, okay. So anyway, time to switch my workstation into a solder station. So that we can start soldering such a beautiful keyboard. First thing is the soldering mat. Did I still drop the frame or losing anything? Okay, let me check out on my phone if that works. Okay, yeah, it looks like it's not working somehow. Okay, let me check if I can get the stream working again. Yeah, sorry for that. Okay, let me try to set up my soldering station no matter what, then we can see if the stream still had a problem. I mean, hopefully it works by then, but you never know. Okay, I'm still seeing a big red exclamation mark, which I suppose it's a problem of the stream itself. Okay, looks like it's somehow working, and hopefully it's working fine. Yeah, maybe it's not working perfectly, but yeah, at least the audio works. And maybe something about I don't know. Yeah, at this point I have no idea. I have no idea what happened here. But no matter what, I have it recorded, so potentially I can just share this stream later on. Yeah, maybe it's my network. Is that possible? Still dropping a lot of frame. How about my network? Okay, let me check something quick. The network seems fine. So now I'm running. Okay, hopefully everything's back for now. Yeah, I feel like I see things getting better. Yeah, at least I see everything goes very smooth compared to previously. So hopefully this is a good sign. Okay, so I'm soldering. I probably will need to put some filter on. So a noise suppression filter, which probably can filter the fan noise. And in the meantime, let me try to see how I can solder this quickly. Yeah, still the same procedure. Make sure the corner was soldered in. But this is a material like metal plate, so pretty good material to make sure everything stays in. And still, yeah, compared to the Overal PCB, this is definitely not as good as the Overal PCB, which were super quick, heat things up. But still, this is much better than a bad PCB that I did before. Yeah, it's always relative. Like KBDfans may not have the best PCB on the world, but it has a good PCB at its price. Okay, I really suspect it's my battery. Like when my battery is pretty low, it just has a really bad. Okay, so I had a small problem. Like I have a switch that had a bent pin, which I probably need to have a desolder stuff. Be right back. Yeah, cool. On the way out, I checked the stream quality, which seems much better. Yeah, I'm glad the wait paid off. And also I figured out how to end the stream without ending the recording, which is another thing pretty annoying because I find sometimes I want to record off stream stuff, but every time I end the stream it just like stop recording. We still have some solder on this one that we want to desolder. Yeah, pretty annoying. When you desolder, maybe it's always have something. Okay. Yeah, always watch for your switches to see if they have a bent pin when inserted, so that you don't end up having this problem on your soldering session. And also a good practice here is always solder the one that's like easier to get bent pin, so that you know, okay, this is probably the problem for this switch before you already solder the other pin. So this plate has a lot of possibility to solder, but not plate. The PCB itself, it can even solder a mini numpad on the right, and similar to 40% alpha area on the left side, which has no symbols. Yeah, seems very interesting option, but yeah, I don't think people have a plate compatible with that, and people want that layout somehow. Okay, everything so far so good. I'm getting up to speed now, just because how the stream will perform much better, and also my soldering went smooth as well. Yeah, good thing I find another banking before I solder. I just cannot believe this is the one. To be honest, anyone could be the one, but the pipe key didn't even get very stable. Okay, so I had some personal request for now that I need to respond. So I will be officially in a be right back state. Yeah, I will be right back. Okay, yeah, so basically my girlfriend wants to get something to eat, and I'm just warming up something for her. And once I finish this soldering, I probably will take a look on that. Yeah, hopefully she's not hungry after that, and I can also finish soldering. And always remember wash hands before touching the food after soldering. It's a dangerous thing. Okay, 75% keyboard has so many keys. Yeah, usually by now I'm almost finished the keyboard build, but for this one I have definitely one more row than usual. I mean, not a bad thing, but yeah, if you use F rows, that's an important row that I soldered for you. So tomorrow I will get a keyboard from my company, a custom keyboard that not many people will be able to get out the world. So we'll see how that looks like. Okay, last several keys. Function 6, 5. 4, 3, 2, 1, and escape. Hopefully everything works by now. And let me just quickly test on VR. Okay, so we have different layout than what we tested before. The right mods, we have 2 of 1.5. Yeah, I'm not showing that on stream because I just want to save some time. Yeah, everything works now. Okay, so I'm gonna check out the food for a quick. Okay, so get my girlfriend fitted. Now it's time to disassemble everything. That's useful for soldering because we finished the solder and the keyboard works fine. And you will notice I have a lot of like soldering stuff that I need to disassemble every time, just because this is actually my girlfriend's working space. I don't want all the soldering stuff occupying her workspace. Cool, so nicely done. Now we got soldered PCB, we have the gasket, we have the keyboard, and let's just put the gasket onto the side of the plate. Yeah, we have the short one, we have the longer one, but I don't think we have need for the shorter one. But to be honest, let's just open up the case in case there's anything that's possibly making things more complicated than I thought. Yeah, so for gasket mount, it's basically a sandwich mount that sandwich everything together, and the only thing difference is the gasket probably pasted on the case. In this case, if you look at all the slots, looks like they are pretty much reserved for the gasket. So that's not to put on the case, onto the plate, since it's like a slot. If you put on the case, maybe it will be not very easy to match it. And to be honest, the gasket material feels like a little bit different than the other gasket material I pasted before, like the one on the polarized and the Vega. So I think that's proprietary information from AI03, how they can source a good gasket material. But anyway, KBDfans make it pretty easy to put on the gasket because the slots just match what they give you for the gasket size. Yeah, so if you don't really know how to put on gasket, they are basically like a poron paste. So just follow the slots and make sure it's all the way put in. And you just have the side gasket. I don't think it needs anyway. Yeah, glad the stream goes back in performance before it's too late. Anyway, this is the most fun part. Assemble the gasket mount keyboard. Oh, you know what? My Rama Kara is on the way, which means I'm getting my Kara soon. Finally, not necessarily looking at all the other people who are getting Kara. I finally have my own Kara. If you know what Kara is, or if you don't know, Kara is what the hell? Do you really need a side gasket? Like the slots? Gasket, slot for gasket seems a little bit not perfect match. I have no idea. Let me see. I mean, it's a good match, but you probably need to really find a good way insert that. Okay, yeah, I feel like this is probably not very easy to put, since the slots were kind of the same size as the gasket, so it didn't give you tons of room to make a mistake. Yeah, you kind of have to put it perfectly, which I don't think it's very easy to do. And on the side, the gasket were larger than the slot. So the question now is, how do we put on the gasket? That's the short question. The long question is, what happened to you, KBDfans? I don't think this case design is the most user-friendly way of putting gasket, period. Yeah, after putting that, it feels like not much popping out, or even it popping out, it feels like it's the imperfect part of pasting the gasket. Yeah, so definitely not a fan of such design for the case, but you know what, this is a $200 75 gasket mount keyboard, massively produced, so I have no complaint about that. Yeah, when you compare things with your expectation, always take into consideration about the price and also how available they are. Like something super nice, maybe they cost you 10 times the money. Okay, I had a trouble fitting this one into definitely take longer than I expected to paste the gasket here, and I don't think it will be easy to put onto the plate and let it sit either, just because how it's not a super easy to match gasket. So still recommend putting onto the case and just like maybe redo if you don't get satisfied with it. But per my standard, it will be fairly easy, like easily redo, because there's no perfect matching on this one. Yeah, super hard. Now I wonder if the center one even fits. kind of fit, but maybe I need to put one side first and put the other side next. And then push the center part. Okay, yeah, this is faster. By the way, let me reply. Okay, anyway, my Rama shapes, that's most important. Now I have my next keyboard to build, which I already have the switches ready. Well, they are actually not in my right keyboard right now. So maybe I will use Water King again for that keyboard. Maybe I will just get it from the keyboard that's supposed to have it. I mean, not supposed to have it. Basically, I put the switches from Rama into my keycard. And since then, I didn't really use that. So probably I should get that out. Now I need to think about how to take care of my keycard switches. They are actually in my beer 65, where I may receive my beer soon. Okay, so many keyboard arriving soon-ish, which I need to figure out what switches to use on which keyboard. It's a happy trouble, happy problem. Too many keyboard arriving around the same time. Not sure which switches to use. I cannot imagine I have this problem at any time. But now it happened. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but yeah. Pasting the gasket on this one seems super unreliable. Yeah, I should leave one for you to try it. But I just don't feel like I got how to do it. Yeah, this gasket was super annoying. So you can see like the slots and gasket were basically the same size. So like anything that moves a little bit will result in the gasket not fitting well. And I don't know how you can remove the gasket after that. Yeah, I just don't know how these kits were designed and built by any KBDfans people before that they can even release this product. I don't know, gasket on 7V. I haven't seen people complaining about that a lot, but yeah, this keyboard I don't really see people building that, so maybe that's like, I don't know, maybe my problem, or maybe people just don't get it to report enough problem. But yeah, I find putting the gasket onto my Vega is not a problem at all. like the slots were big enough that I can put my gasket even with some freedom of free room, but this one definitely hard. Yeah, I won't call it a perfect standard. Annoying. Yeah, this is like, I would say bad. Just bad as I don't feel like I can even put on with the right way. Basically, I don't think there's a right way to put this gasket on. It's just so bad design. Or maybe they sent me the wrong gasket pack. Maybe there is some D75 gasket pack and they sent me the 65. Maybe that's the part. Desolder a few switches is fine, as long as you are not desoldering the whole keyboard. Okay, so this one, actually, like, it's smaller. The slot is smaller than the gasket. How can you even put the gasket into it? Interesting. Let me see if I can even put the okay, I think my way now is putting the gasket onto the plate, then let it compress itself. Don't call me lazy, I just don't think that's possible to put onto the case. So either they sent me the wrong gasket, or this gasket design was not working at all. The only thing is I know how to find a way to make it work, but I don't think many people know how to find a way. How do you like your 7V? I know this is a great keyboard on the goodbye time, but once it delivers, does it live on the hype? I mean, I probably want to get the extras, but I know it will be hard. But I also have some confidence because I got like recent extras like F1, Matrix 2.0 at Polarized, so I think I got pretty good coverage on what extras to get. The only thing is whether we have enough for 7V. Okay, finally let's assemble it. Yeah, so before you desolder, have you tried your 7V already on the typing feeling? Yeah, I don't think this keyboard will compare to 7V, but yeah, still a good one for newer people coming into this keyboard hobby and know if this is a good keyboard. Okay, so the only thing is I didn't even screw anything in for this board. probably have to compress a little bit so that I can screw that in. So much compression. I don't even know if we have a good flex on the typing. Did I lose the screws? Okay, I hope we have enough extra screw. I will be able to find more screws later on, but yeah, I think they have plenty extra screws. They're probably not even like extras, they probably the supposed ones. Feels like the screws are not even the same as the default ones, but default it doesn't have all the screws. Let me find maybe another screwdriver. Yeah, let's see if this one is better. Yeah, I actually not a fan of Phillips screws because they are really easy to strip. And one strip you don't really know how to take it out. So I wish they can give us the hex screws and the hex tools. So I don't need to even know like which screwdriver to go. But now it's either too late or it's not necessary. Anyway, you don't really need all the screws to screw the case in, so you just need to have some screws to screw the case in and the rest to secure the case. I don't know what's going on with this one. Screw the problem of this keyboard. Yeah, so if you were considering a keyboard of 75% gasket and you don't know which one to get, and you wonder why some are like, I don't know, 500 bucks, some are like 200 bucks. I think the quality control and the keyboard design is a big factor. like, how the screw were even in when it's actually not the right one, right? Is that even possible? And I can freely unscrew that, but I just cannot get the screw out. Huh. Interesting. Let me see if I can just screw that in. Yeah, it feels like a different one than the others. It's really strange for the whole screws on this keyboard, and also the gasket. Feels like they are not the right one. That's sent in. Okay. So one thing I need to do is probably unscrew everything to make sure the client can unscrew later. And the other thing is we probably want to put the case foam on to try that. And we should be able to tell whether the other screw is able to remove or not, and hopefully not rely on that screws and maybe just unscrew that. Okay, the last screws to potentially unscrew. Yeah, I feel like I spent maybe several hours in total time to figuring out the screw problem on KBDfans keyboard. So it's either the problem of KBDfans or it's my problem. Okay, so interesting. I know why it's not going to get out. So looks like maybe they send the wrong screws in general. Yeah, so basically some screws are not the right screws to send in. So some screws are stuck in the case. Yeah, I'm wondering how to solve that problem. But worst case, for this keyboard, you don't really need to open it up anytime, and you can still open it up. So one screw inside is not the end of the world. So basically there's one screw that's stuck. I don't know if I can try to focus. Yeah, so this one screw stuck here. It cannot get out. But it didn't really stop it from like closing the case or from like opening the case. So not end of the world. If you are considering modding the case, modding the keyboard, you can still do that. But yeah, just like part of the screws. We're stuck there. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, so basically what they send has a different screws than the stock screws. I mean, they have the same dimension or same standard, but yeah, just the top case were pretty much like. Okay, yeah, let me test that to see if the top case actually has the same dimension as the screws. Yeah, so this one is fine. How about this one? Yeah, let me see if I can even take out the screws, because that's the most important part of this. Yeah, so I didn't lose any screws. It's just like one screw stuck in. And also in the meantime, this gasket was super hard to install. So soldering parts, pretty standard. Gasket, hard. Screws, bad. Yeah, so that's like the quality stuff of this keyboard. So probably the best way is checking with the support of KBDfans and see what they can do with this screw stuck into the case. And yeah, I can take a shot if you want, so they will know what you meant. Yeah, let me take a photo, potentially send to you. Yeah, let me see if there's anything I can do. I probably need a piler and the screwdriver, so be right back. Worst case, we don't really need this screw anyway, so even if it's inside, it's still fine. Okay, so at least we got whatever on the top, and we can take out the screws. Yes, let's not to use the screws. And we still have something stuck in the top case. Not now. Let me check if I can do anything. Because maybe it's still fine. I'm trying to troubleshooting. Yeah, what's interesting is there's something, probably not the wrong screw, but there's something in the screw hole that stops the screw go in, and I don't know what it is inside. And does seem like you can take it out. Maybe I will use a drill bit and see if I can drill in and get it out. Yeah, let's see if we can take that strange thing out. I don't even know what it is. Feels like some rubber bump or whatever. Yeah, let's try to get a drill bit larger enough that I can potentially get in and take it out, if possible. I don't know what I'm doing now. I'm just trying to see if I can. Okay, I still don't know what's inside of this top case. So it feels like it's some rubber stuff inside the case. Let me see if I can even focus on this one. It will be a little bit tricky, yeah, I know. So this is the normal screw hole, nothing inside. And this is the one with problematic, like there's something inside. And it's just like causing the screw stuck. And maybe I will just use the screws. Yeah, when I try to screw in, it doesn't really work. Yeah, just this one. I think maybe we can forget about that. Yeah, it's just something inside. I have no idea how to take it out. Other holes are fine, and I think we can use all other seven screw holes to support this keyboard. So let's just assemble that. Yeah, not going to hurt if you miss one screws. At least it's one, not seven. Cool, let's keep working on this keyboard. Yeah, I don't even know how that happened. Strangest thing on the world. Cool, let's keep working on the keyboard. For sure, especially like the screws on that one, it's not going to be a it won't be the problem for the whole keyboard, just because that one doesn't really take the most force off the keyboard anyway. Yeah, the corner ones are the hardest one. So taking the corner one first and see if we can have the keyboard secured. Yes, sometimes I don't really know the real root cause. I can only guess, and maybe it's the right cause or not. So at least that screws were taken out, not like it's stuck there forever. That's at least some good news after what I'm trying. I don't know. This is probably the longest time I spent on screwing something together. Feels bad. Feels like I shouldn't spend that much time on that, but I end up spending all this time to figure out it's not my screwing issue, it's really something stuck onto this case. Yeah, I don't know if it's a good news or bad news. Cool. Anyway, looks like we finally put things together. Even we have some trouble on the screws, but yeah, it's at least fully closed. Yeah, we will clean up everything later on, and let's see if we have everything closed up. Yeah, pretty much everything is done. Now finalize all the keycaps. So for this water king switches, okay. Yeah, it may feel a little bit sluggish at first just because it has a lot of like stock loop, but once you type more and more, it definitely gets better. So that's the thing for a stock loop switch. Don't freak out when the first time you type on that. Just keep typing it. Yeah, it happened to my own loop switches as well. Like I looped the lavender switch. At first I thought it overlooped, but after a while I definitely get it working. Yeah, I think the things are looking nice putting together. What do you think? Well, I don't know from the camera. But at least the silver with the white keycaps were pretty classic combo. And the blue-purple color from the novel keycaps were a little bit modern, so that this keyboard looks very custom. And actually the keycaps quality is pretty good. So the typing were pretty deep compared to if you are using some like stock keycaps. Oh yeah. The only thing is this one super hard to take out keycaps. Yeah, I think it's well organized, but just doesn't really have user-friendly way of getting the keycaps out. Especially I just cut my fingernail today. It's get much easier if I have the fingernail. No, I don't think RGB will do anything. So first, RGB is underglow, so it doesn't really have the perky RGB. Second, even it has perky RGB, the keycaps are not shine through, so it will block the RGB shining through. So in general, high-end or even like mid-tier or entry-tier keyboards don't really have a good RGB solution unless you're buying like keyboards specific for RGB like GMK Pro or maybe NK67. Yeah, maybe they will have it, but for this one definitely not. But I think for this keyboard the selling point is not RGB for sure. It's mainly about how to get a good quality. Like on the material, and also on how it looks and how it feels. I mean, it won't really compete with $500 keyboard, but it's definitely good on the price for what you can get. Okay, so what keycaps are we going to put here? It also depends on what do we have on the last two rows. Like what do you usually go on the right column if you want to use them? There's 4 keys there. I mean, you can always find the keycaps later if you want to change, and you can always remap what they meant. So not really set stone after the day. It's definitely just like how we started here. Let's see how we can end up having something working for you. So we can have page down, page up, and have the home and end. Which doesn't really matter too much at this given time because it's just like the placeholder key for me. I don't really use 75 or even 65 right column. I mostly just use it as like volume control because I find volume control much more harder to get than the navigation, because you can always use commands on the Mac, command up and down to do some additional stuff. So yeah, if you really see RGB, it just like peeks through from the bottom of the spacebar. You probably won't really see it. Cool, so let's take a final look. So this is the D84 built with Water King and blue, purple, and white from Novelty. And this is the side profile. Yeah, very unique side profile. And that is the back. Very clean look. This is gasket mount. I will see how I felt on the typing feeling, and also how it sounds with this water king on the aluminum plate. Okay, cool. So let's do our proper typing test. I need to check out. Water King built on aluminum plate with platform, case form, and gasket mount on this D84 from KBDfans with PVD keycaps. Let's see how it sounds. And here's the mod sound. Yeah, how do you feel about that? I think this is pretty good if you're coming from the pre-built, and typing feeling wise, I definitely feel like this is much better than the tray mount, just because like how evenly distributed on the key typing feeling, like the whole row has pretty consistent typing feeling, versus the tray mount you have some center post. It definitely generates some different typing feeling and different typing sound. Maybe like G, H will be very different than like K, L. But for this keyboard, yeah, very consistent on just like the same row, all the keys on the same row. Yeah, but if you try to compare this keyboard with, let's say, like the 7V or Vega or Polarized, I don't think it's the same comparison, just because how gasket mount is implemented. I definitely see like KBDfans is trying to enter the game, but still long way to go. But in general, like at this price point with such entry-level keyboard for a 75% compatibility, I think this is a good job on their first try of 75 gasket mount. Yeah, seems really reasonable priced and also very good looking for like the aesthetic if you like the side profile. Yeah, and also from the front you can see the two chamfer, which makes this keyboard much unique other than, you know, the traditional like rectangle keyboard, because it also has rounded corner. Yeah, overall I think it's a good keyboard to consider when you start this hobby. And if you want to get the KBD75, no, not try to get that one, get this one instead. Yeah, I will test this for maybe 1 day or 2 days, and if I find out anything that I need to fix, I will fix. Otherwise, I will probably send you the keyboard back on Wednesday or maybe Thursday. So that's my plan, because I'm building another keyboard on Wednesday, so after that I will be able to test that keyboard instead of yours. So potentially 1 or 2 days. And that's enough time for me to find other like ordinary stuff. Sometimes like maybe a key not register consistently, or maybe some stabilizers are not well looped after like I type for a while, because yeah, at first it may work, but after a while maybe it has some problem. You can always contact me on Discord if you have Discord. So my Discord ID is, yeah, so that's my Discord ID if you want to contact me on Discord. And for Reddit, yeah, you can still contact me on Reddit, like nothing hurts doing that. I always check my Reddit. I have desktop notification working on that. Cool, yeah, thank you for tuning in and answer all the questions I have, and also just bear with me on debugging this screws issue. And yeah, we have one screw not screwed in, but I don't think that's huge deal overall. So yeah, pretty good result turning out. And remember, this is like probably the cheapest custom keyboard, 75% gasket mount keyboard that you can get out the market right now, with very good availability. And if you were asking whether you should get GMK Pro or this one, I think they are targeted on different markets. So yeah.